What's up, all you nerds and turds? Welcome back to Indie's Nutz podcast. I'm Steve. That's Matt. He's over there. That's Andy. He's over there. We are back, freshly unwrapped from our PAX East 2023 trip. Gentlemen, how are you? Matt, I know you got PAX Plague.
I do got the PAX Plague, but man, was it worth it.
Oh,
PAX
yeah.
was amazing. We had a great time. Lots of good people, lots of good devs, lots of good games. Good stuff.
Andy.
I'm dying.
It's always worth seeing all your faces in person for a change. So that's always the best part of the trip for me. Getting to actually touch you for, 4 days straight.
I felt like this year was the first year that we approached PAX like we owned it.
Yes,
like we were
a very well-organized, unified front as we walked.
And respected.
Show floor.
I feel like we were respected more than we ever have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like this year, the media badge meant a lot. And also
It seemed like it.
The people that we knew, because this was our fourth one together, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like people knew who we were. Like they got, oh, that's Andy and Steve. Like a lot of people remembered us, gave us handshakes, high fives and stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah.
It's not a bragging thing. It's just like finally,
it's like everything's landing.
Yeah.
It's also like seeing a lot of faces we've met over the Dual Screens podcast,
right,
for the first time.
Yeah. That's dope.
That's always fun, seeing people that we've met through the show, like having a show floor presence, showing off their game with, like, we saw Anton Blast, Tony Grayson. He was like mobbed. Like, his booth could.
He was so excited too.
His booth is the size of my office, and it had just a billion people.
Contain the hype for that game. He needed more space, and so damn proud of that kid.
And our friends at MegaCat had a fucking boxing ring.
Yeah, man.
And wrestling matches happen.
Awesome.
Kind of.
So that was in fact a boxing ring. So that is so PAX would not allow them to have a wrestling ring for insurance purposes, but they allowed them to have a boxing ring.
Makes sense.
Does it?
Yes.
No.
A boxing ring is sturdy. A wrestling ring is flimsier.
Ish.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why. Anyway, but yeah, I was just like, because when I stepped in that ring to take the picture with the thing, I was going to do a flat back bump. Like I was just going to do a quick bump. And as soon as my foot hit it, I was like, I don't think so. But all the wrestlers, almost no one took an actual bump. Like anyone that took a bump, it was like a rolling bump or like a slide or a front bump. Nobody took a straight flat back as far as what I was told. So, that was dangerous. But this show is going to be a little different. We are going to do our PAX East 2023 Indie Game Awards. That's right. It is all about PAX East this episode. But first, we want to tell you that you should support us, and you can support us. Patreon.com/dualscreens, just like our Patreon producer, Colton, the apprentice, Nestler, who won our internal Patreon/Discord little contest that we did, which was just for all our homies there in Discord, which you can join by being on Patreon. But we did a little, review the podcast and then show us you reviewed it, and then you get an entry to win. So he's going to win a copy of what game was it? The one we just interviewed. The Smash Bros.
Goons. Legends of Mayhem?
The Smash Bros. one.
Smash Bros. one.
Fuck. Man, my brain. I'm so out of it. I've been
fried.
The Smash Bros. Roguelike. Spiritfall. Thank you. I knew it was there. It was there. It was in my head. But anyway, that's what he won, and that's coming out in a few days. So There you go. Andy, we got some shit going on dualscreens.com, my friend. Tell us what's going on dualscreens.com.
We do. Our latest interview with the developer of Dredge is up on dualscreens.com. Check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see all of our amazing PAX videos going up shortly throughout the week. Very exciting times. And some previews and some more best of stuff to look forward to. Things to wish list.
Lots of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of stuff. Andy, turn up your sensitivity. You're too low, according to chat.
Sensitive.
Sensitivity. If I make you any louder, Matt will just blow out everything. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to get us into the PAX East Awards, the Indie Game Awards. That's what it's all about. I'm going to start us off, and I named this award the Indie Game and Chill Award. And this is going to go to the game that I just could not stop thinking and could not remember the name of because my brain is mush and doesn't work. But I finally remembered it, and now I'll never forget it. And that is Fabledom. Fabledom is a very loud trailer in my ear. Holy shit, it unmuted itself. Thank you. Fabledom is a city builder with a focus on romance over war. It is set in a fable fairy tale world. You come across other kingdom. You pick a prince or a princess to start. You start your little civilization. You hit milestones to get more citizens. You kind of pair them up, and then other kingdoms will be like, I like you. And you'll be like, I like you. And you could combine the kingdoms by romancing and doing the marriage thing. Yes, there is war, there is fighting, but it's very, very chill. It's very laid back. I didn't get to do that in my demo because I was all about love, as you know I am. And but yeah, it was a blast. And I had so much fun playing this game that I could see myself just leaning back in my chair and just watching my little city grow. Gorgeous and beautiful graphics. That's what that's Bugis
art, Shrek-like graphics.
Graphics. And it's just really dope. I had such a great time playing it, and so that gets my Indie Game and Chill Award.
I really enjoyed this game too. I think I just like these type of like worker placement city builders. I love this kind of management sim. Yeah. And there's some like really cool stuff, like being able to build out like custom build your yard on your houses and all that stuff.
You could give people like really big like yards, and they could fill it with all kinds of stuff like chicken coops and whatnot. Like they do a lot of that stuff by themselves. You're really just kind of setting up infrastructure, and like there are things that'll make your, like if you put a house too close to a coal mine, like there'll be negative happiness, but then you could increase the happiness by putting other things there, like a theater across the road. So it's dope. I had a really good time playing it.
I also really enjoyed it. Yep.
Indeed.
Good stuff.
All right, Matt, what do you got?
All right. This is my tactics game I promised I would buy before the dev offered us keys, and I ended up buying because I can't break a promise to a dev award, and that goes to Lost Eidolons.
That's a lot of words.
Good word.
It's just the truth.
I was playing this as well. This is really dope.
Yeah, this game is awesome. It's a tactics style strategy game that has like some of the coolest battle animations I think I've ever seen in any of these types of games. It feels almost like a fighting game once you engage with another unit. Like you get your health bars and all that kind of stuff, and they start breaking down. The story seems pretty rad. The amount of characters all seem pretty rad. People can die, apparently. There's like a permadeath
There is
mode.
a permadeath mode. It's very Fire Emblem in that way.
Very Fire Emblem-y. And yeah, I don't know. It hooked me like almost immediately while I was on the floor.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play a ton of it, but I do have it installed on my Steam Deck because I promised the dev that I would buy the game despite him giving us keys afterwards, or telling us he would give us keys afterwards. So I'm going to play the hell out of this game. It looks great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Super dope.
Yeah, there was like blood and spells and shit.
There's spellcasters, range characters, up close guys. It
looked like a lot of fun.
It looked, and the way the characters kind of interact with each other seems very D&D as well. Like it's very, they're a band of misfits kind of thrown together trying to do the mission.
The thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we were like I think four or so chapters ahead. Like that's where the demo kind of put us. Picked up. So but yeah, I mean, so the reason why it was at PAX is that yes, it's out on Steam, but the console version is coming out, and I was actually playing on I believe it was the Xbox. So I was playing the Xbox version of the game while we were there, and Matt was playing on the Steam on the PC.
Yeah, and not a thing I care about for games like this, but really some really great graphics.
Oh yeah,
I was taken aback by how
gorgeous.
well like polished it was.
Yeah, it's dope. Like really, really cool. And I'm kind of annoyed that I missed it. Like I missed the boat when this first came out last year in October. Dope.
Ride the console boat, dude.
No, this is Steam Deck all day, because this is one of those games that you can just
pick up and play.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Okay.
Andreas Asimakis, what do you have for us, you silly man, you?
As he murders.
I have a weird boner again award.
All right.
And that's going to Toxic Crusaders.
Oh.
There's a disconnect there.
Holy shit.
Guys. Oh, I know exactly what he means.
Holy
shit. No, I know.
Guys.
Yeah, I do too.
So one thing you may not know about me is I have a huge encyclopedia volume knowledge of Toxic Avenger in my brain. Like I was the guy at trivia that knew what the fuck Sergeant Kabuki Man was. That's how deep the sickness is. But Toxic Crusaders, which is a cartoon anime based off of the Trauma Toxie movies, was a hit when I was a kid, and seeing it come back as a beat 'em up, riding off of the Streets of Rage 4 TMNT nostalgia ball tickle phase, is so unexpected. And I'm so yes, and I'm so here for it.
I thought that's what I heard.
Yeah, the balls are being tickled.
Yeah,
by the nostalgia. And listen,
right. Is that where your nostalgia is? It's in your balls?
Yeah, it's in my balls. Yeah,
it's ball nostalgia.
Yeah, it's in my chewies.
Nostalgia.
It's in my chewies. It's not as refined or as deep as, again, TMNT or Streets of Rage. You know, it's a simple, you press one attack button, one is special that drains your health if you use it too much. If you spam it, fine. But it's fun. It's a fun, like, multiplayer beat 'em up set in the world of Tromaville. And I fucking love it. And it gave me a chub. That's all there is to it.
Okay.
Simple as that.
See, I thought it was a Yvonne thing because, like, Yvonne, yeah, because there were a lot of like weird cartoons as a kid that like like made things move, and like Gadget was one of them. You know?
Oh, from Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, like it was like, what's going on? What's happening? And Yvonne was another one. So April O'Neil was one.
No.
Well, you're a gay man.
We sure are having conversations right now.
Listen, I want it to be clear. I am not sexually aroused by
the
Toxic
Crusaders. The Toxic Avenger doesn't fucking do it for you, man.
It's the excitement. Listen, it's New Jersey's own superhero. You can't beat that shit. You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
From the
it is New Jersey as a superhero, pretty much.
Correct. Yeah.
Pile of
but yeah waves. it was a lot of fun. Retro Rare,
you're a lot
crushing
of fun.
It as always. I am a lot of fun, but yeah, it's made me plenty happy.
I am, as Matt says, or as Mike says rather, I am nostalgically aroused in my balls. That's true.
There it is.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
True. The next award, my next award here is the game that made me care about League of Legends award. I could not care any less about League of Legends. However, the Mage Seeker, a League of Legends story, had me all in a tizzy, gentlemen, by the creators of Moonlighter. My game of the year, I believe it was 2018? 17 or 18. I think it was 17. That was my game of the year that year. And this has a lot of that DNA. It has the art style. It has the animations. It has a lot of the combat. But the thing that's really cool about the combat in this game is that this character, Silas, his abilities are that he can steal other people's abilities, right? So the way the combat works is you have your own magic that you can have, but you start off with nothing. And as you steal magic from opponents. You target them, and then you press, I think it's R2, and then you suck it out of them, and then you have one charge of that magic, and then you could throw that magic at one of the other enemies, and you could keep doing this over and over. So eventually, you could bring these things that you were able to absorb. You bring them, and you unlock abilities in that magic permanently, and then you could assign up to 4 of them to your face buttons. At your face button modifiers as you're going in around beating everything up. Just a really awesome action RPG, like super, super slick, great VO. The combat is incredibly satisfying. And the demo that we had when you think of a boss fight, you think bad guy, big bad guy that you fight. But the demo that we had, the bad guy was a gate that we had to knock down. But the big baddie that we couldn't touch at all was going around like setting traps, throwing projectiles at us, and like doing all sorts of crazy shit. So you're going around avoiding this big baddie, and you're trying to knock this gate to free one of your allies, so that he can take this baddie out. So if this game is going to have moments like that, where it's not your typical, here's the bad guy, fight the bad guy. Okay, you beat the boss, go on and continue. If it has more of that uniqueness to it, I think that's going to be really dope. And Matt, you played it after I did, right?
Yeah, man, I fell in love with this game. Like, not that it wasn't on my radar, but kind of like I think all of us here. Like, I just like the League of Legends moniker doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not into that world. I didn't know this character. But just like the art, the world, the storytelling that happened just in the demo immediately sucked me in. Like, it was so good. And I agree with everything that you said. One thing that I thought was really cool is that there's a very simple like power dynamic wheel with the powers that you can get and cast. Very simple like power triangle deal. And I think that's going to create some really interesting combat opportunities like later in the game where you're sucking up powers from one enemy and shooting it at another because the weakness transition there or whatnot. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. It's like a mix between like a Moonlighter and just like a top-down traditional spellcasting ARPG. I cannot wait for this full game. I literally, this was, if I had to pick a second game of show, this would have been it.
What was the name of that game, Andy, that where you play the different mages, and it was isometric like this as well, but really hard?
Wizard of Legend.
Yes.
And it was a roguelike too, right?
I fucking love that game.
It reminds me a lot of Wizard of
Legend.
Shit.
Yeah.
In the way that you're juggling the magic and the the melee isometric platforming.
Yeah.
All of the all of the mayhem on screen as well. Like, I thought I was going to get overwhelmed, but everything flows so nicely together. The combat just is very synergetic.
It is highly synergetic.
Alrighty then, Matt.
He's scowling.
What's your next award?
So this is my 8th grade sleepover award because I feel like if this game was out when I was in 8th grade, me and my friends would have stayed up like literally all night playing this type of a game. And that was long. Goons, Legends and Mayhem. This is a 2v2 hockey game.
Wrong. It is up to 3v3.
Okay, up to 3v3.
Yes, we played 2v2, but yes.
Up to 3v3 hockey game with a bunch of different characters who all have different strengths, weaknesses, and powers. And just, I don't think at any other point during PAX, the 4 of us collectively had as much fun as we did playing this game. Like, slapping the puck around, me and Jimmy trying to figure out how to coordinate our passes and our shots. There was like a fucking 4 seconds left. You guys were up 1-0, and I fucking squeaked one by the goalie on your side, and it was stupidly fun. Like, I played a mage, and my power was I could just like shoot a fireball at somebody, and it would make them it would stun them, and they would drop the puck. And once I figured that out, anytime I saw Steve get the puck, I just immediately shot Steve because I knew Andy was fine, but we were just talking a couple.
Well, Andy was off screen most of the game.
That's why I was fine.
But also, we talked a couple weeks ago how about the AI scored a full ice length shot on him via their goalie.
No, you got that wrong, Matt. I scored a full length goal on myself.
Sorry. I was giving you too much credit. My bad.
So we actually learned a lot about this game because we just did an interview with the developers yesterday. So that is going to go up in early access tomorrow for all of our Patreon subscribers at the is it the 3 or 5? I think it's the $5 and up tier. You will get that early before Monday when it goes up. Also, while we're on that subject, I apologize for the episode this week. It went up in audio form. There was a technical difficulty on my end. I did not know that the trailer that I was playing was broadcasting the sound internally in OBS. I did not hear it while we were recording. So too much of it got kind of borked. So we're trying to get back with the developers to chat about the game again. Maybe do a little something different so it's a little more fresh for them. So we do apologize for that, but that is going to happen. But yeah.
Anyway, this game was great.
It was dope. And listen, it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of to this game that
Captain McTangent over here.
I had no idea what was even in this game because we didn't really. All we did was play against each other.
We sat down, we picked up the controllers, and we just kind of.
But there is a lot to this game.
Give me one tidbit that I wouldn't know. And then leave the rest for the actual episode.
So, Mario Tennis?
I do know Mario Tennis, yes.
It has an adventure mode like Mario Tennis.
Fuck yes.
And that's kind of a story that you play through with either yourself or your friends, and there are boss fights. So
I'm all the way in on this.
Hell yeah. Basically, what we did is like the extra thrown in on top of this game.
Which is stupid because, like I said, this is a game that if I was younger and I could get all my friends together all the time,
correct,
we would definitely be cracking open constantly.
Right, you are.
Because we played a shitload of Mario Tennis on the N64 back in the day. It was like a game that was in constant rotation, and this definitely has that vibe.
Right. All right, Andy, hit us up with your next award.
Oh boy, it's gonna be a good one.
I don't believe you.
All righty.
Can't be too good.
This is the game I most identify with, also known as I Feel Personally Attacked award.
Okay.
And that goes to Pizza Possum.
Pizza
Possum. Pizza Possum is a game where the developer was like, hey, do you like eating food? Then you may like this game. And I was like, go on, sir. Tell me more about this game. You are a shitty possum. That's a direct quote from the developer. You're a shitty possum that goes around eating garbage, trying to avoid cop dogs trying to arrest you.
Mm-hmm.
Cop dogs.
That is it. There are no buttons. You just walk around eating shit like a vacuum off of people's tables, the floor, trash cans.
You set traps. There are buttons. You do set traps.
There are traps. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. If you do get some items to use.
Yes.
It's all in the point system. So you eat shit, you get points. When you get caught, it's game over.
You're not going to tell them about the whole get fat mechanic?
Like,
oh yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting there.
All right, I'm sorry.
So
we're interrupting you a lot.
If you eat too much at once, you get fat and you can't evade properly. So you got to be really picky and patient with your food consumption. And you can duck into bushes to hide from the pup police. You can toss out bones to distract them, or even disguise as them too, which is kind of neat. Put a little dog mask on your face. And the ultimate goal is to eat a giant fish on this dock, which is well guarded.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. And it speaks to my inner fatty. Also my outer fatty.
This game is so stupid that it can't be anything but good.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No.
Agreed. It's got that Katamari like DNA where it's just go around, gobble, gobble, gobble. and avoid disaster. And I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
It's so good. It's so stupid. So
my
good.
next award and our next 3 awards are going to be our personal Game of PAX 2023. And I had so many different options for this. But here's what I want to do, gents.
I'm a little surprised that this is the one that you picked, if I'm being honest.
Okay. I'm gonna throw in a little extra award, but we're not gonna show any footage of it. But it is the Chasing Chickens Award, and it goes to Undisputed, the boxing game in which I beat
right now
Mr. Nuff.
Right.
I beat Nuff in 12 rounds by decision. We went the distance, Matt. We were putting on a clinic.
I just want to say something. Right?
Say it.
I want to say something.
Say it.
I was kicking your ass health-wise. You were like, I didn't figure out that you could throw power punches until like the seventh round.
Yes.
My guy, I didn't know I could fucking throw power punches. Basically, did you look at the numbers? I threw like 4 power punches the whole game.
Yeah, but you knew about it.
No, I didn't for like half of the fucking thing either. And then even when I remembered that it was a thing, I forgot it was a thing again. You threw like 36 power punches.
Excuses.
I threw like 4, and I still took your shit down. It's just that one of the judges, which is a really cool part of the whole game, which is a really rad part of the game that we talk about, liked what you did better than what I did, even though I beat the shit out of you.
Because I boxed. I just outboxed you. That's what it comes down to.
Can I just say, as a spectator watching you both go for 12 rounds for 45 straight minutes.
It was 45 minutes.
We played for so long. We missed a whole ass another appointment because we played this game for 12 rounds. Me and Steve we were locking eyes. We weren't fucking leaving this booth, man. We were fucking finishing this fight.
Oh, by the way, it was Joe Frazier versus Rocky Marciano
fight for the first half hour.
We were feeling each other out, you know, just like getting distance.
I was like, is it usually like this low damage by round 8? And the guy was like, no, it's not. But keep watching. It may get better.
Well,
it's because neither of us knew that there were power punches.
And we also both picked like overall 90 characters who might be some of the best fighters of their generation.
You did.
Yeah, literally.
Joe Frazier and Rocky Marciano
I will say this, though,
are like
when the action was good, it was really good.
It was just intense. What was intense was just the fact that we didn't know who was winning. There was no real indicator for us of who was actually winning because the judges are
there
not.
There was no way of knowing.
Yeah. Anyway, my Game of PAX.
Wait.
Okay.
Just really quick.
Yeah.
One of my favorite mechanics of this game, and what I thought was really cool, was the judges mechanic. So there's like some sizable pool of judge AI that they can pull from, right? So you never know who you're going to get as your 3 judges for the fight, which is super cool because that means that you can't play to the strength of the judges that you're performing in front of. Each of the randomized judges that they have different likes and dislikes in fights. And so like there could have been a permutation of the fight or the judges that watched our fight, because I only lost by 2 rounds. There could have been a permutation of the judges where I won that fight, which I think is super cool. It is the super cool part of that game.
Yeah.
I love this game.
If they disliked power punches, you may have won that fight.
Yeah. I loved this game. It brought me right back to playing like Fight Night round 3 with my buddy Joe in my basement when I was like fucking 16.
It's very Fight Night-esque, but it has believe it or not, it has like an extra layer of realism to it, which I think is dope and super intuitive as well.
Yeah.
All right.
The movement was great.
Game of PAX 2023 for me is a tiny little game that
small little game
took me by surprise. I sat down, I played it, and I did pretty well. It is a action roguelike, action RPG sort of thing, side-scrolly guy. And it is called Trinity Fusion. Trinity Fusion. We'll get to the thing right now. There we go. Trinity Fusion was frickin' dope, ski potatoes. Sorry, it's not playing. There it goes. Okay, so Trinity Fusion The thing that was really cool about this game, I don't know why it's capturing weird. Hold on. Maybe I just hit the wrong thing. Play it on deck. Nope. Just because they went live with a live stream, so it's capturing weird.
It got fucked.
Yeah, sorry about that. There we go. Just scroll it up a little bit. There we go. So Trinity Fusion is, like I said, it's a roguelike action RPG where you're playing these three characters that are from different parallel universe or time zones or something like that. I forget exactly what it was, but they each have different play styles, and you could also combine them at certain points in the game and have like super versions of those characters. The combat is super fluid. It reminded me a lot of like a Hollow Knight or something like that. Like it felt so good that I didn't want to oversaturate myself in it almost, because I was like, okay, I know what this is. I don't want to go too crazy with it. I want to see this final product, and I just want to play it. Like that was kind of like how I approached it. And then I was like, Matt had to play this because this is a super Matt game. Like it is, and an Andy game for that matter. When it comes to combat, these are the kinds of games that I am good at combat wise. Like I could get into a good flow more so than those isometric games like Moonlighter and the Mage Seeker. This is a little bit more combo juggling, swapping between your main weapon and your secondary weapon. One of the characters, the one that I played, her secondary weapon is a gun. And you could pick up various guns. And if you happen to get the rocket launcher, like it's a cheat code. Like you could just go around just shooting rockets, but you do have to charge it back up, stuff like that. There's one that has like a big sword as their secondary as well. And I didn't see the third one. I didn't get to play with that. You played with the sword chick. And I actually think I picked her twice. But Nera is the ranger, which you're seeing on the screen right now. Can pick up different various ranged weapons, from bows and arrows, sniper rifles, pistols, laser guns.
I think I ended up playing her. I played Nera, I think.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you did. You did say, and you said you didn't want, because so the thing that she does that's unique, at least it was unique in my play, was she had a double jump.
Yeah.
And the sword chick that I was using did not have a double jump. So it like threw off my timing because I was expecting to be able to do that. But I think she was able to parry or like block or something. I don't know. There was something she was able to do. And then there's and then there's the character that does, she has like tech gadgets. That was where her abilities were. Yeah. But I did not play as her. So
I loved this game. It gave me I don't think the Hollow Knight vibe, it didn't really give me Hollow Knight vibes. It definitely gave me some Dead Cell vibes.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
It felt very Dead Cells-y. The bosses seem a little bit cooler than Dead Cells, which is a hard thing for me to say because that game holds a very special place in my heart. I could absolutely see myself getting completely sucked into this game.
Sure.
The combat is like fast and frantic, which is what I love. 3 different characters. That's huge. They all have different weapons and gadgets and things that they can pick up, which means that everyone with each of the 3 characters could be incredibly different. And then, just the enemy design and everything in this game is so good. I loved it.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Who's next? Who's next on the list here? Is it Matt? Oh, it is Matt. It is. All right.
My game of the show was a game that I think Andy actually was like, "Hey, I want you to play this game." I was like, "Okay, I'll go play this game." We were doing like a booth tour or something. It's a game called Nocturnal.
Yeah, it was at Dear Villagers.
Dear Villagers. This game, for whatever reason, just like reminded me of. So when I was like 9 or 10, I would go hang out with my uncle's, who was a day trader at the time, and he had like a sweet computer set up, and he had Prince of Persia on it, like the OG Prince of Persia, and I used to play it on there. And this brought me back to playing Prince of Persia. It has like the same kind of weight to the walking and the jumping and everything And I'm gonna cough right now, so hold on.
It has that very fluid movement, but like almost like they're like super like high frame rate. Like a lot of frames go into the animation.
Yeah. And so the whole the whole gimmick here is that there's this thing called the mist. It has invaded your home, and you're trying to push the mist out. The unique mechanic here that I believe is used throughout the whole game, or is what I was led to believe, is fire. So you can light your sword on fire, and the interaction between fire and mist looks super cool. And if you're in too much mist, you'll actually be like consumed by it and die. And there are also enemies that are made of only mist, and if your sword isn't on fire, you can't do any damage to them. And so when your sword is on fire,
Dear Villagers does good stuff.
When your sword is on fire, you'll cut a path through the mist that looks absolutely beautiful, like the cinders of you cutting through the mist. And it's a really narrow path. It's not like you're lighting up the whole room. It is like really just where you're walking.
That's so cool.
The interaction between that, the fire and the mist is super cool. The way that they set up puzzles in just the demo with fire and how other items interact with it in the game, just the demo was really cool. And I really can't wait to get my hands on the final version of this.
Yeah, this looks really cool. Like really, really cool. Nocturnal. Matt's
Nocturnal. My game
of the show.
Game of PAX. Absolutely.
Game of the show.
I'm not going to talk anymore.
Yeah, take a break. Let that old throat break. By the way, Trinity Fusion remind me of Foregone in its combat. On Epic.
That is a more appropriate comparison.
That's what it reminded me of. And I loved Foregone. Just
also like Dead Cells.
Yeah. Dope video game. All right, Andreas. It is now time for your game of show. But first, you have some throwaway awards, some little extra tidbits that you wanted to give. So why don't you?
Do I?
Well, you said before. You said what in the pre-show? You said you had
yes,
a lot more. So I figured I'd give you the floor now for the next 3 minutes to tell us those.
Rapid fire those tidbits.
Got it. This includes Matt, and by extension Jimmy. In this is the We Don't Play Games Good Award, and that's for the Blackout Protocol. This fucking game.
Oh my god! Yeah. So what a fucking roller coaster this was.
We went into this game thinking it was a simple Diablo-like format where you're walking around, clicking, pointing, and shooting at alien monstrosities. But we burned through our ammo like five screens in.
All of those things that you just said, though,
same goddamn part.
Yeah, all of those things that you said are true, though. It is all of those things, but also it wants to murder you constantly and wants you to murder each other constantly.
And it wasn't until after we failed 3 miserable times where the dev was like, it's a roguelike. And we're like, oh, okay, fine. Okay. But we still suck at this game. And can we have it now, please? Because this needs a redemption story. Yeah, we're just so terrible at it.
I wish I was there to record that.
It was a huge whopping embarrassment.
My favorite little interaction.
Grown ass.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting, and I said I wasn't going to talk.
No, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
My favorite little interaction with the dev.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Afterwards, I asked. I was like, "Hey,
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk. Go ahead.
I'm talking. I hate you. I fucking hate you guys. I hate you so much." I said to the dev, I was like, "Hey, like, is that like that's like where we're supposed to die? Because like there was like a cool little chunk of combat before that. It wasn't like super long." And he was like, "Yeah, just not 3 times." And I was like, "Oh, cool. So we do suck."
You sure do. You sure do. What else you got, Andy?
All right. My next award goes to two games, actually. This next award. It is the I'm going to lose what little friends I have left award, and that goes to Bread and Fred.
Yeah.
Which is this cute ass ice climber getting over it kind of game where you play as 2 penguins that are tied to each other and you must climb a mountain. And Steve and I played this shit together. Holy shit.
Infuriating.
It was a lot.
So you have 2 games
And
on that list.
I can't wait to play the full game.
Interesting.
Yes, and the other one is the upcoming Infernax
Yes.
upgrade. That's the Do or Die, where they're adding freaking co-op to that game. So an amazing game gets better. We fared better at that game, I feel, Steven, than the Ice Climber one. But that game, I feel, could also cost some friendships along the way. But that was a lot of fun. Also, friends of the show, great friends of ours, those guys at Berserk Studio, doing just the Lord's work.
I put a very interesting name card for that. I am known as the ankle smasher or whatever, ankle crusher, and you are known as the eyeball killer. So that was good. You can watch. Actually, nice. I will have our little gameplay vid up after all the interviews go up, because Jimmy did record us playing that game.
Okay.
Until we died.
Yeah. And then my last little bonus award goes to, this is the most knowledgeable, also known as Tell Me About Your Dogfish Mode Thing award. To Triad Ludicrous Edition.
Oh, good lord.
Okay. So Triads.
Yeah.
Triad is
Rise
a great
of the Triad.
Boomer shooter.
Yes.
Rise of the Triad is a great, amazing, boomer shooter they brought back with a bunch of upgrades and enhancements. But the PR person for this game, she was like going through lines of code.
She was the programmer.
How intense
the
conversation was while we were trying to play the game. It's like, can I shoot something? She's like, go here, enter 50 cheat codes. Now go to this level, check out the soundtrack. Now you're walking on the ceiling in some weird, funky dev room.
She showed us everything that the game can do.
Literally.
Which is cool.
Yes.
Which really made us realize how much is in that game.
Great.
But we really don't know how the game is.
Listen, I loved her enthusiasm.
But curb it.
But I wanted Matt to just fucking play it.
Just shoot things.
I did. I mean, I did play it. I jumped around and I shot a bunch of shit, and it was great.
Did it feel good?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay.
It was very difficult to not talk to her because she was so excited. About
super excited about
and
everything.
So you want to share that enthusiasm.
We also got a history lesson.
I want to play the game.
And the best. But the funny part was the publisher behind her was like, oh, and tell them about this fun fact. So she was feeding us stuff and then being encouraged to feed us more stuff.
We were fed
both,
but we were also actually fed though.
We know.
True.
So we were fed. Our minds and our stomachs were fed. I'm
just gonna say we're getting her on the show because I want to go on about lines of code and how it came to be, because it's. I was like, sit back, put us both on mute, and let her go. She'll do a whole show for an hour.
I was gonna say it's like Dual Screen's first 3-hour interview.
When somebody is that passionate, you gotta just let them do it. You gotta let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, what's your game of show?
You have to.
Game of PAX.
I admire that level of passion. My game of show. Game
of PAX. Here it is.
Not a surprising one for me. I think I knew this. I think I knew it going in. It's Mina the Hollower from Yacht Club Games.
We love Yacht Club.
So Matt watched me suck at this game for a good 10, 15 minutes or so. And it's a very simple fact. And the reason why is the game looks a lot like Link's Awakening for the Game Boy.
It does not play like it.
It's the hands are hardwired for it to play like that, but it subverts it so much. The guy was like, do you like Bloodborne? And I was like, why are you mentioning Bloodborne in a game that looks like this? It's like, trust me, it plays a little like Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just hacky slash enemies.
Right.
You got to be patient and methodical, because you can, as you slash enemies, you can regain bits of lost health that you can heal with the potion. So it's a fun mechanic. There's 3 different distinct weapons There's a super fast sword, a Castlevania-esque chain whip, and a heavy hitting hammer, and they all play very differently from each other. Yeah, there's a lot to love in this game. And again, because it was so not what I thought it was going to be, and that I wasn't that great at it, I loved it even more.
Yeah.
And they could have done this by the books, like a Link's Awakening, but with a Castlevania like whippy gameplay, and it would have been great. But that wasn't enough for them. They had to make it different. And for that alone, it was my game of the show, because I did not want to put it down. Also, fun fact, future guest of the show,
Of course.
Yacht Club Games, coming back.
Coming back, baby.
We'll talk about this gem.
I gotta say, maybe one of my favorite parts of PAX was heckling the fuck out of Andy while he was playing this game, because I was, and it was fun as fuck watching him fail. What
Matt was
cool
just like,
yeah.
Andy, play good.
I know it's a weird word to use, but I think that it's like brave of them to try that type of a game with this kind of an aesthetic.
So brave.
Correct.
Super brave.
I think it's like, Matt, I can equate it to why you had a hard time with Dwarve, I think. Because you look at it and your hands and mind want to play something, and the game is actively fighting against your pre-programming.
Yep, 100%.
So that's why
100%.
I was like, I couldn't. Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna skip the indie steal of the week this week, because we did run a little bit late. But we do have a Kickstarter of the week that Matt put in here,
boy.
and it is a story. It is a story.
All right. This is not a game. This is
Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
Matthew,
Maybe
really quickly before you get into this, you bringing this to the table, like, just reinforces why you're a part of this team, because you find shit like this, and it makes me glad that you're here.
Hey, man, I do what I can.
And with that,
so it's not a game.
This is not a game.
What is it?
This is a documentary about a fighting game that has been in the making for 30 years. There is a whole team of people attached to this who are still very passionate about it. Specifically, the main creator is still very passionate about it. It's a game that there is a ton of footage of them trying to make the game, and it is made in a way similar to the original Mortal Kombat, with like blue screens, people doing like the actual physical, like they all wanted to be the characters in the game, so they're all doing like the physical moves in front of a blue screen to kind of put themselves into the game, just like Mortal Kombat. And it's just the story of the development of this game, where it is, and this crazy eccentric creator who now owns like several arcades and like a couple of pinball arcades or something like that. And it just, I don't know, like there is something about it that it's just like I've never heard of this game. I didn't know of its existence before this, and I just like I as somebody who grew up in the era where games like this were made, I have to see this. Like I can't wait to dig into whatever this is, because it's just like it's like finding like a weird legendary spot in a video game where you're like, I had no fucking idea this even existed. What treasure trove is this? And it just seems like it just seems like there's so much here to unpack. The best part about it is, though, he still wants to make the game. Like he's still planning on releasing this game at some point. And I think probably the Kickstarter money and whatever money this documentary makes is going to help fund finishing the game. I don't really know. Anyway, I could not post this because it looks so fucking rad. And it just looks so bonkers. And I can't believe nobody's ever talked about it. I mean, I'm sure people have talked about it, but I don't think it's common knowledge that this exists.
I have it on the screen right now, and my God,
this is like
if you didn't tell me that that's what this was, 100%. If you didn't tell me that that's what this was about, I would think that this was the making of a Mortal Kombat movie, like a game that was like that came out and was cool, because that's exactly how Mortal Kombat was made. This looked like it had more of an idea of how to make a Mortal Kombat game than they did making Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like they had to figure all that Mortal Kombat shit out live. Like they at least seemed to be like, oh, this is how they made Mortal Kombat. We can do it too. And just crazy cool. So really cool documentary.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this so much, you guys.
Yeah.
Look how serious they are.
I hope it happens. But that's the thing is like, it seems like I obviously haven't seen the full documentary, but it seems like from the trailer, like everybody who was involved in it over 30 years, like nobody's discouraged. Like everybody is super into the idea and still loves it or still has like fond memories of working on it and everything.
Well, why?
Like nobody seems mad.
Yeah. Why would you? I mean, it's so cool. It's such a cool experience. Just, I mean, until you actually officially give up and throw it in a pile and hit, delete and drag it into, then you didn't fail. Keep going.
It's still a thing.
This thing could still happen, man. Maybe this gets, Ed Boon or somebody sees it and goes, you know what, guys?
We're going to help.
Let's go. Let's get this shit done.
This is the next NetherRealm game right here, guys.
Indeed. Speaking of done, the Indies Nutz podcast is now done, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 35 in the books. Wow. PAX East 2023 Indie Game Awards have been
doled out.
They have been awarded.
Dueled. They've been dueled out.
They've been
dueled out. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, folks. Remember, if you want to follow us on social media, we're at dual_screens. I'm at Batchild27. Andy's at PadSky. Matt is at Mr. Niff. Go to dualscreens.com for all your dual screens needs, but make sure you hit our YouTube channel where all of our content goes, youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. Watch the show live every single Thursday, 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/dualscreens streams. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, listeners. And as always, please be excellent to each other.